Shalom. Welcome to another video. And as always, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wadash, and next double honors to the head apostles / elder bishops of the great millstone who teach and who rule well. Peace, blessings, and safety. To all you sincere Akim, keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith, regardless of whether people hear or whether they forbear. This is going to be a quick reading of Leviticus, the 12th chapter. All right, and it's entitled The Law on Motherhood. All right, so we're going to dive right into it. And Yahweh, the Heavenly Father's will is edifying to the elect. All right, so this is where you get the law of circumcision from, the law of purification on giving birth. Okay, so we're going to read about it. All right, let's just dive right into it. Leviticus 12:1. It says, And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed, and born a man-child, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation. For her infirmity shall she be unclean. So just as the same as if when a woman is on her cycle, according to the law, she's really supposed to be separated, all right, for that period of time. Okay, let's read this in the NLT. All right, it says, Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If a woman becomes pregnant and gives birth to a son, she will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days, just as she is unclean during her menstrual period. All right, now, when we go to, let's get the law on that. Okay. Let's see. All right. I forgot exactly where it's at. Okay. Leviticus 15, I believe this is it. Okay, Leviticus chapter 15, and let's see, it goes into that. All right, when a woman is on her cycle, okay, she's supposed to be separated, all right, for a period of time. Here it is. Okay, Leviticus 15, and I'm going to start at verse, Leviticus 15, I'm going to start at verse 19, all right. It says, And if a woman have an issue, and in her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean unto the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean unto the even. So really, under this law, okay, you're supposed to have really a separate place for your woman to go, when she's on her menstrual cycle. It says, And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean unto the evening. Leviticus 15:23. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean unto the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days, out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, usually a week, all the days of her issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation, she shall be unclean. All right, so if it continues on longer, okay, if it continues on longer than 7 days, then the same rules apply until it's over. All right, and she'll be unclean until the even, meaning the evening, okay, until sunset. So same thing for if a woman, all right, has a baby, all right, and is born a man-child, okay, a baby boy. All right, she should be unclean 7 days according to the days of the separation. For her infirmity she shall be unclean. Okay, Leviticus 12:3. And in the 8th day the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. Okay, and once again, this tells you, because it tells you in the law. Let me find that right quick. All right. Let's see. Okay, that's where is it at? Hang on, I forgot exactly. I don't even know what book it's in. I can't find it. I don't know. Hey, you know what? I know I'll be able to find it, but I'll just post in the comment section later. I don't want to get too distracted off from this topic. But this tells you when the child is supposed to be circumcised. All right, which is on the 8th day. All right, after he's born. Okay, the man-child. Continuing on, Leviticus 12:4. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 3 and 30 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. All right, so she can come back, all right, after that week, all right, but she's not allowed to go into the temple or touch any holy thing. Okay, so let's read this in the NLT. All right, Leviticus 12:4, New Living Translation. After waiting 30 and 3 days, she will be purified from the bleeding of childbirth. During this time of purification, she must not touch anything that is set apart as holy, and she must not enter the sanctuary until her time of purification is over. Okay, so she can come back to the house, but she cannot, touch anything that's considered holy. All right, verse 5. Okay, it says, now if you have a woman child, it's different. Leviticus 12:5. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation. Okay, so she's be separated from her husband for that 2 weeks, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days, so 66 days. Okay, so pretty much the same things, but just double. All right, it says, and when the days of her purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering, until the door of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest, who shall offer it before the Lord, and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that hath borne a male or a female. So obviously, okay, in today's time, we don't do sacrifices because Yahushua, made the sacrifice once and for all. But if we were sovereign, okay, if we were in our sovereign land, all right, then we would do the purification. Okay, we'd still do the purification ceremony. And as a matter of fact, I forgot exactly where it's at, but let me see if I can find it. All right, Luke, maybe, Matthew 2, maybe? Let me see. Mary, when she bore Yahushua, she did this. All right, let me see if I can find that. It might be Luke chapter 2. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. All right. Luke 2:22, and when the days of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were accomplished, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. Okay, talking about Yahushua. All right, as it says, here. Okay, it's going into everything that we're reading in Leviticus, the 12th chapter. All right, how he'd be circumcised the 8th day. All right, etc., etc. Okay, so let's go back. All right, this is the law for, purification after childbirth. All right, verse 8, Leviticus 12:8. And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons, which I believe that was what Mary brought, 2 young pigeons. For the one for the burnt offering and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean. Okay, so this is the law of childbearing, okay, of motherhood. All right, when a woman has a child, she's supposed to be separated for a period of time, and then she's able to come back, but she's not able to partake in, anything holy, okay, for the allotted amount of time. But that's pretty much it. All right, just something real quick, and it may not seem like much, but these are all commandments that the Heavenly Father, given us, all right, for us to follow to the best of our ability, because these things are pleasing unto the Lord, and even though we know the law is not going to save us, all right, it still is good to study it and learn it, and it shows that you want to be obedient unto the Lord. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to close out with that. Yahweh Ratazah was edifying, as always. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rach, and until next time, Shalom, and abide the ball.